We were accused of thinking with our womb. But I think that our advantage is that on top of thinking with our heads, we also have a womb.
And that was part of a movement of mothers that rose up in the 1990s to protest against their sons being sent to fight in Israel's first ground war in Lebanon.
Soldiers were dying daily in Lebanon, and living right by the Lebanese border, we would hear the helicopters going to the hospitals and know something was happening. So our hearts would stop beating. We would freeze in our beds in horror.
Their demonstrations helped pressure the then government to withdraw its troops in 2000. Now, with boots back on the ground inside Lebanon, the 76-year-old says she's again wary about the mission and worried for the soldiers. But she's no longer completely opposed to the war after the October the 7th attacks by Hamas in the south left her fearful Hezbollah might do the same where she lives in the north. The threat forced her to flee her house last year and escape to Tel Aviv. Do you think you'll ever be able to return home?
I'm afraid they'll come from tunnels with parachutes, something that's beyond our control. The fear of what happened in the south is something that's impossible to recover from. I don't know if I can ever return.
This is her town in northern Israel, a once vibrant community silenced by war. You can see from the shuttered-up houses that most of the families in this neighbourhood have fled. It's an eerie reminder of the last year of war and the fact that the threat hasn't gone away. We find Anat's abandoned home. It should be a sanctuary, but this area is clearly not safe. We just heard the sound of an explosion, and you can see the impact site over there. That white zigzagging line is the border with Lebanon, so you can see just how close she lives to the border. On the same street, we meet Iris. Like Anat, she too had to evacuate her home. She's just come back to pick up some clothes. In a country where there's conscription, all three of her sons are serving, including one who was wounded in Gaza.
It's very hard. You're not calm. The first 6 months, I couldn't talk to anyone. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't listen to anyone. I wouldn't wish for any mother in Israel to feel what I felt. It's horrible.
Your sons are risking their lives for their country. Do you think that the operation is worthwhile?
Of course, it's for our benefit, so we can return home safely and peacefully.
But the day after we visit, the town of Shlomi is declared a closed military zone, a widening of the war on Iris and Anat's doorstep. Deborah Haynes, Sky News, Northern Israel.